Fog. Nothing but fog for 3 days straight. A German sentry cannot even see where his boots meet the frozen ground. December 22nd, 1944. The Americans trapped inside Bastogne are starving to death. Victory is coming, and something changes. A distant rumble, growing louder. Engines. Dozens of engines. Maybe hundreds. The sentry raises his rifle and points it at white nothingness. His squad leader is yelling into a radio. Nobody responds. Just static. Then metal monsters burst from the whiteness. Guns already blazing. Within minutes, the entire position is gone. Overrun. Destroyed. Every promise the officers made. Every certainty from yesterday. Vanishing in the fog alongside everything else. Klaus Ritter slams his frozen boots against the hard ground, south of Bastogne. December 20th, day 4 of Germany's great offensive. So far, everything is working perfectly. American soldiers are trapped in the town, somewhere behind him. All roads leading to them are blocked. This wonderful fog has grounded every Allied aircraft for 3 straight days. No supplies reaching the surrounded enemy. No bombs falling on German heads. Just bitter cold and patience, and the beautiful sound of German shells pounding American positions in the distance. Ritter's squad guards a lonely crossroads about 5 kilometers below the siege perimeter. Not exactly a fortress. One beat-up farmhouse. A stone wall missing half its stones. 2 Panzerfaust tubes. Their orders are simple. Watch the road. Report anything suspicious. Nobody expects trouble from this direction anyway. The intelligence briefing yesterday made that clear. Some officer pointed at a map and explained that the closest American units are way down near the Saar. Miles and miles away. Stuck in their own defensive positions. This sector is completely safe. Living inside this fog does strange things to your mind. Sounds bounce around incorrectly. You start hearing things that are not there. Just yesterday, Mueller thought he heard tank engines approaching. The whole squad went on high alert for an hour. Turned out to be absolutely nothing. Veterans say this always happens. Spend enough days surrounded by white blindness, and your brain starts creating phantom threats. The radio traffic from headquarters sounds relaxed. Confident even. Officers up the chain are intercepting American transmissions. A garrison inside Bastogne is almost out of bullets. Their medical supplies ran out days ago. Everyone agrees surrender is coming soon. Maybe hours from now. Some German units are already being pulled back to rest. The offensive is actually running ahead of schedule. Feldwebel Kohl, the section leader, brings back some bread and cold sausage from company headquarters. Rumor says they might get relieved tomorrow for a few hours of actual sleep. Weather experts predict the fog will lift by weekend. Once visibility returns, Bastogne falls, and the push toward the Meuse continues. A few optimists are actually starting to believe Germany might win this thing. A night of December 21st drags on forever. Everyone takes turns staring into white nothing. 2 hours per shift. Eyes straining to see what cannot be seen. Temperature keeps dropping. Ice coats everything. Moisture in the air freezes onto rifle barrels. You can see maybe 5 meters ahead. Maybe 10 on a good moment. The road simply dissolves into whiteness and disappears. Morning of December 22nd arrives looking exactly the same. Same white blindness. Same freezing cold. Same invisible Americans who supposedly cannot move in this weather anyway. Cole boils some coffee on a small stove in the farmhouse. Soldiers clean their weapons out of sheer boredom. Somebody starts a rumor that Americans in Bastogne tried breaking out overnight and got massacred. Nobody can confirm anything. Somewhere around mid-morning, the feeling changes. Nothing concrete anyone can point to. Just a weird sensation that something is off. Fog seems heavier somehow. Noises arriving from wrong directions. Ritter mentions it to Kohl. The Feldwebel waves it off. Stop being paranoid. But then Mueller freezes. Says he hears it again. Engines. Everyone shuts up and listens. There. Unmistakable now. Heavy vehicles. Multiple engines. Approaching from the south. Cole grabs the radio and tries reaching company. Dead air. Tries battalion. More static. Keeps trying. Finally gets through, but the connection is garbage. Reports possible vehicle movement approaching from southern direction. Voice on the other end sounds irritated. Tells him to quit reporting every random sound in the fog. Intelligence has confirmed no enemy activity in this area. Cole pushes back. The voice tells him to shut up and hold his position. Stop wasting radio bandwidth. Those engine sounds keep growing. Nobody doubts what they are hearing anymore. This is not one vehicle or two. This is a convoy. Multiple convoys, maybe. Cole works the radio again. Different operator this time. This one actually listens. Wants details. What kind of vehicles? How many? What direction exactly? Cole cannot answer any of these questions. All he knows is the sound keeps getting closer. The new voice orders him to send soldiers forward for visual confirmation. Cole picks 3 men. Ritter is one of them. They creep down the road heading south. Weapons up. Eyes squinting into nothing. 50 meters. 100 meters. Engine noise definitely louder now, but still nothing visible. Then a new sound. Metal grinding on frozen ground. Tank treads. Not German treads. The pattern is different. American Shermans. Every soldier freezes instantly. That sound is practically on top of them. Ritter suddenly understands the terrible truth. They walked too far. Whatever is coming will crush them in seconds. Cole waves frantically. Everyone sprints back toward their position, slipping on ice, hearts pounding, knowing the enemy cannot see them either, but also will not stop for anything. They crash back into the farmhouse position, gasping for air. Cole seizes the radio. American tanks heading our way from the south. Many of them. We need artillery now. The voice responding sounds confused. That is impossible. There are no American tanks south of the perimeter. Cole is yelling now. He knows what he heard. The voice repeats. Stay where you are. Wait for instructions. Then the ground shakes. First artillery round lands 50 meters away. Another follows. Then several more. Shells walking up the road directly toward them. Someone out there is firing blind into the fog, but getting closer with every shot. Ritter and his squad mates throw themselves behind the stone wall. The radio explodes with panicked voices. Units across the entire southern sector, all reporting the same thing. Contact. Tanks. Lots and lots of tanks. Cole reaches battalion headquarters again. New voice this time. This one sounds scared. Confirms armored vehicles approaching from several directions at once. No eyes on them yet, but the sound signatures suggest at least one full division. Maybe more. Battalion is trying to arrange artillery support, but directing fire is impossible when nobody can see anything. Orders are to hold current ground and shoot anything that appears. Ritter checks his weapon again. Loads a Panzerfaust. Finds a spot where he can maybe see 20 meters of road. Engine noise is everywhere now. Ahead of them. To the sides. Impossible to count how many. The thunder of engines makes any estimate meaningless. Could be 20 tanks out there. Could be 200. Mueller crouches behind the machine gun. His whole body is shaking. Not from cold. He keeps looking at Cole for some kind of reassurance. The Feldwebel has nothing to give. His face shows the same thing everyone is feeling. We were told this sector was quiet. We were told enemies were days away. We were told fog made movement impossible. Everything we were told is a lie. A tank appears from nowhere. 1 second nothing but white emptiness. Next second, an American Sherman sits 50 meters distant. Already rolling forward. Already past their position before a single German can react. Mueller swings the machine gun around, but the target is gone. Swallowed back into fog. More engines behind it. Coming fast. Cole screams into his radio. Tanks rolling through our position. Cannot engage. Need support immediately. Voice responds that everyone needs support. The entire defensive line is under attack across 10-kilometer front. Hold position. Do not fall back without orders. Then the radio dies completely. 5 minutes of trying to get it working again. Nothing but silence. They are completely alone now. Cole decides quickly. 1 machine gun and 2 anti-tank tubes cannot stop an armored column. Everyone falls back to the secondary position, a village 2 kilometers north. Nobody argues. They grab what they can carry and start moving. The road heading north is complete madness. Other soldiers already fleeing. Men from different squads, different companies, different battalions. Everyone flowing north away from those terrible engine sounds. Nobody has orders. Nobody has information. Just rumors spreading like fire. Americans smashed through. Hundreds of tanks. Maybe thousands of soldiers. The entire southern flank has ceased to exist. One officer tries stopping the retreat. Some Leutnant that Ritter has never seen before. Standing in the middle of the road, waving his arms. Shouting about cowardice. About duty. About standing and fighting. Some men actually stop. Most keep moving. The Leutnant pulls out his pistol. Then everyone hears it. Tanks, very close. The Leutnant's bravery evaporates instantly. He runs north with everyone else. Ritter's group reaches the village and finds it already packed with refugees from other destroyed units. A Hauptmann is trying desperately to organize some kind of defense. But defending against what exactly? Nobody can answer basic questions. How many tanks? Coming from where? Are we already surrounded? The Hauptmann does not know. His radio is dead too. No contact with anyone higher up the chain. No orders coming. Just uncertainty and fear. Soldiers start digging shallow holes in frozen dirt. Setting up machine guns facing south. Passing out the last Panzerfausts. Waiting. Fog remains thick as ever. Cannot see 20 meters ahead, but you can hear everything. Tank engines. Truck engines. The roar of something massive moving north. And mixed underneath all of that, bursts of small arms fire. Scattered. Desperate. Other German units somewhere out there making contact and dying. A messenger staggers in from battalion. Looks like he has not slept in days. His report is devastating. The attack hit the entire southern sector simultaneously. 3 American divisions minimum. Possibly even more. Frontline positions were overrun within 60 minutes. Radio communications have collapsed across most of the area. Units are fleeing in complete disorder. Nobody anywhere has managed to form a coherent defensive line. The Hauptmann asks about artillery support. The messenger just shakes his head. Artillery cannot see where to shoot. Forward observers are dead or unreachable. Some batteries tried firing based on sound alone and accidentally hit German positions. Most guns have been ordered silent until visibility improves, which means no help is coming. They are completely on their own. Ritter peers through a crack in the stone wall, watching the southern road. For exactly 3 seconds, the fog shifts. Brief window of clarity. What he sees stops his heart. The road is absolutely packed with tanks. American Shermans in a column stretching back until fog swallows them again. Infantry vehicles following close behind. Then the white curtain closes and everything disappears. But the truth is burned into his eyes now. Everyone understands. This is not a probe. This is not some local counterattack. This is an entire army. Afternoon of December 22nd. Ritter's position in the village is falling apart even without direct combat. Soldiers keep stumbling in from the south, bringing increasingly terrible news. Positions wiped out. Officers dead. Entire companies scattered to the winds. The Americans are not even bothering to clear out resistance. They just drive around strong points and keep pushing north. Someone insists Bastogne is about to be relieved. Someone else swears that is impossible. These tanks must be the trapped garrison trying to break out. Arguments break out everywhere. The Hauptmann silences everyone. He is working the radio desperately, trying to reach anyone, division, corps, anyone who can tell him what to do. The radio produces only garbled voices, everyone trying to transmit at once. Complete chaos on every frequency. Ritter has had no food since morning, no sleep in 30 hours. His brain feels like it is moving through mud. Everything happening around him seems unreal. 4 days ago, Germany was winning. German soldiers were advancing. Americans were retreating. Now an American army that intelligence said could not possibly be here is driving north through weather that intelligence said made operations impossible. And everything south of Bastogne is simply melting away. A Feldwebel from some other unit claims the Americans moved their entire force from the Saar region in just 2 days. That cannot be right. Cole says you cannot relocate that many troops and vehicles that distance in that time. The Feldwebel shrugs. Cannot be done or not, they are here. Someone wonders if maybe this is an airborne drop. Someone else points out no aircraft have flown for 3 days. Nobody has answers because nobody knows anything at all. Tank sounds approaching again. Americans found the village. Hauptmann orders immediate withdrawal. Nobody pretends anymore. This is pure retreat. The fighting positions they spent hours preparing are left behind without firing a shot. Everyone grabs whatever they can carry and heads north again. The next village they reach is already burning. American artillery found it somehow despite the fog. Or maybe bombers dropped through the clouds. Buildings collapsing. Bodies scattered in the streets. German soldiers. Belgian civilians. Nobody stops to look closely. Just keep moving north. Always north. Away from American tanks. Darkness falls, but fog refuses to lift. Ritter's squad finds shelter in a barn somewhere outside the Bastogne perimeter. They are maybe 3 kilometers from where morning found them. Feels like they ran 50. Cole finally gets radio contact with what is left of battalion. Confirms southern approaches to Bastogne are gone. American armor punched through. Infantry pouring in behind them. The corridor keeps widening. Orders arrive. Reorganize. Form new defensive line. Prepare for counterattack. But nobody believes any of it. You can hear the defeat in Cole's voice as he repeats the words. You can see it in every face around him. There will be no counterattack. They will keep running because Americans keep coming and nothing slows them down. December 23rd brings even worse news. Weather finally broke overnight. Dawn reveals American planes filling every inch of sky. Fighters, bombers, transports dropping parachutes over Bastogne. Germany's one advantage, the fog that kept enemy aircraft grounded, has vanished completely. Now Americans can see. Now they can aim. Now supplies reach the starving garrison. Ritter watches from behind some trees as American fighters tear apart German positions to the north. Tanks exploding. Trucks burning. Men running toward cover that does not exist. The attacks are precise, methodical. Americans know exactly where every German soldier is hiding because they can see everything from above. An Oberleutnant shows up with fresh orders. They are being combined into a Kampftrupp, battle group, built from the wreckage of 4 different companies. Their mission is blocking the American advance. Hold at all costs. The Oberleutnant will not look anyone in the eye while delivering these words. Every soldier understands what hold at all costs actually means when you are outgunned and the enemy owns the sky. That afternoon they take positions along a ridge. For the first time they can actually see the American advance. Armored columns stretching back toward the horizon. Fighter-bombers circling overhead. Artillery pounding every suspected German position. This is overwhelming force. This is what losing looks like. American tanks a kilometer away start shooting at Ritter's position. They cannot shoot back effectively. Panzerfausts only work at close range. Their machine gun is useless at this distance. They dig deeper into frozen ground and pray artillery misses them. Other positions are not so lucky. Direct hits, men screaming. Medics cannot reach the wounded because moving draws fire. December 26th. Ritter is somehow still breathing. He cannot quite believe it himself. 3 days of constant contact. Americans driving relentlessly northward. What is left of his Kampfrupp holds ground east of the main American thrust. Cut off from headquarters. Almost out of ammunition. Nothing to eat since yesterday, but alive. From where they crouch, they can see the corridor opening up. American vehicles rolling freely between their lines and Bastogne. Supply trucks, ambulances, more tanks, more infantry. The siege is finished. Officers have stopped pretending otherwise. The road junction they were supposed to capture. The objective that was supposed to fall in days. Now being reinforced by an army that came out of nowhere. Cole gets news from a runner. Kampfrupp ordered to pull back east. No counterattack, no heroic last stand. Just retreat before they get surrounded. The runner mentions that maybe 20% of the forces that were south of Bastogne a week ago are still able to fight. Everyone else is dead or captured or scattered across the countryside. The whole southern operation has completely failed. Retreat begins after dark. Small groups. No vehicles left. No heavy weapons. Just infantry with rifles trying to reach German lines 10 kilometers away. American patrols are everywhere. Flares light up the night, periodically making everything bright as day. Ritter's group lies frozen in a ditch, while American half-tracks roll past 50 meters distant. English voices. Casual, relaxed, confident. The sound of an army that knows it has won. They reach German lines at sunrise on December 27th. What remains of them? 6 soldiers from a squad that started with 12. The position they stumble into is manned by men who look equally shattered. Nobody asks questions. Everyone already understands. The offensive is dead. Americans killed it. Killed it with tanks appearing from fog. Killed it with an army that moved faster than any German planner believed possible. Ritter sits in a cold bunker drinking terrible coffee, trying to make sense of what happened. A week ago they were winning. Victory felt real. Hitler himself promised this offensive would split the Allies in half and turn the whole war around. Now they are right back where they started, minus most of their fighting strength. And Americans are stronger than ever. Some Unteroffizier from another unit is talking about the American general who led the relief. Patton. Ritter has never heard the name, but apparently the man is famous. Aggressive, fast, terrifyingly fast. The Unteroffizier explains that Patton turned an entire army 90 degrees and attacked through, weather that should have made movement impossible. Americans did in 2 days what German doctrine says takes a week. Somebody asks if the offensive can start again, if reinforcements might be coming. The Unteroffizier laughs. No cruelty in it, just exhaustion. Look around, he says. This is what is left. This is everything. No reinforcements coming, because no reinforcements exist. Germany threw everything into the Ardennes, and Americans threw it right back. That night, Ritter writes a letter he knows will never be sent, trying to explain to his family what it feels like knowing you are on the side that is going to lose. Not just losing battles, losing the entire war. You can see it in how officers talk, how orders come without conviction, how nobody believes the propaganda anymore. He writes about the fog, how they stood inside it feeling safe because nothing could move in zero visibility. How sound came first. Engines in the whiteness, then shapes, then everything collapsing in minutes. You can prepare for an attack you see coming. You cannot prepare for an attack that materializes from nothing when you are promised it was impossible. He burns the letter instead of mailing it. Censors would catch it anyway. Better to let family keep believing. Better to let them think victory is still possible. Knowing the truth just makes waiting harder. January 1945. Ritter's unit has been reorganized yet again. New name, new officers, same broken men. They hold positions east of the original Ardennes line, right back where the offensive started a month ago. Weather stays cold. Fog comes and goes. But everything is different now. You can hear it when soldiers talk. The confidence is gone. Before Bastogne, even after all the retreating and dying, there was still belief that somehow Germany would win. Better tanks, better training, better soldiers. Nobody believes that anymore. Americans proved they can move faster, fight harder, coordinate better. The myth of German superiority died in the fog south of Bastogne. Cole goes through the motions of maintaining discipline, weapon inspections, position checks, making sure sentries stay awake. But when American artillery starts falling, everyone knows all you can do is dig deeper and pray. When American planes appear overhead, you hide and wait for death to pass. The idea of attacking, of counterattacking, of seizing initiative, all of that is gone now. Ritter thinks about the men who did not make it back. Mueller, half the squad, dead fighting an enemy they could not see in fog that was supposed to keep them safe. The entire southern operation collapsed in hours because Americans did things German planners said could not be done. All the intelligence and doctrine and experience meant absolutely nothing when reality refused to follow the script. Fresh orders arrive. Another offensive is being planned. Different location, new objectives. Officers present it as a new opportunity. Nobody is fooled. Every man who fought at Bastogne knows exactly what happens when Germany attacks and Americans respond. Americans can redeploy faster than anyone predicts, can attack through conditions that should make operations impossible. The German advantages of 1940 are ancient history now. Somebody asks Cole what he thinks their chances are. Cole stays silent for a long time, finally admits he does not know. Depends on weather. Depends on where Americans are positioned. Depends on 1,000 things nobody can predict. But his face is what his words do not. Depends on miracles. Depends on Americans suddenly making mistakes they do not make anymore. Depends on reality becoming something other than what reality is. Ritter stands guard on a frozen January night. Fog is creeping back in. He listens carefully for engine sounds, for any sign that somewhere out there in the darkness, Americans are moving. Because that is the lesson he learned. Weather does not protect you. Intelligence reports do not protect you. The certainty that attacks cannot happen does not protect you. The war is going to end. Everyone knows that now. The only questions are when, and how much of Germany burns before it does. Propaganda keeps promising miracle weapons and final victory. But soldiers who faced American tanks in the fog understand the truth. They know what defeat feels like. Standing in mist, believing you are safe, and hearing engines that should not exist. Certainty dissolving in minutes. Discovering everything you are told is wrong. Cole walks up during his rounds. Asks if anything is happening. Ritter says no. Quiet tonight. Cole nods and moves on. Neither mentions that quiet does not mean safe anymore. That Americans proved they can attack through impossible conditions when everyone said it could not be done. That fog could part any second, revealing tanks and infantry. In the end, Ritter checks his watch. 2 more hours until relief. 2 more hours listening to wind and fog and silence. 2 more hours remembering the morning everything changed. Sound building in the whiteness. Shapes appearing. The whole defensive line dissolving. Certain victory becoming inevitable defeat in the time it takes tanks to drive through mist. Somewhere to the south in fields and villages where fighting happened, there are burned-out vehicles and unmarked graves. German soldiers who died thinking they were winning. American soldiers who died breaking through. All of them swallowed by an offensive that was supposed to change the war, but only confirmed what was already true. Fog thickens. Visibility drops to 0. Ritter stands watch in white emptiness thinking about ghosts. Not supernatural ghosts, Real ones. American tanks appearing from nowhere. The ghost of German confidence. The ghost of victory that never actually existed. All lost somewhere in the fog between what was promised and what happened when tanks came rolling out of. The mist and everything collapsed.